I've had the pleasure of working with Nicholas on a couple of committees, and I know he has a real passion for this, and it's my pleasure to work with him. And thank you, students, for showing up today, because I'll tell you, it's the end of a long week, and it's a beautiful day outside. And while it's been 35 years for me, I'm telling you, I'm a little challenged to remember on a Sunday that I would want to do this, so you guys should be commended. Thank you very much. I'm just take a few minutes to talk about a few things, and put up some of the notes. Nicholas gave us some a couple of points I want to make sure we touched on. I want to make sure I do that. So anyway, Nicholas said, my name is Mark Moore. I am a local businessman. Someone recently, I was in a meeting just the other day, and the person referred to me as a serial entrepreneur. And I kind of laughed when he said that. I'm like, a serial entrepreneur? He goes, you do startups all the time. And actually, over the past 30 years, actually, he's right. I've been fortunate enough. I've created 3 different companies over the years. I've done IPO and sold 3 different companies and had the pleasure of raising about $2 billion. I am a product of New York City, of the New York City public school system too at that. Private schools are good, Catholic schools are good, but you can get a fine education even in the public system, and I grew up in the public system in New York City. Wonderful, again, I had wonderful parents. We talked about wonderful brothers and sisters too. Came from a family of 10. My parents had 8 children, and we were all very, very close. And I was a benefit of that, because not only did I have 2 wonderful parents that gave me guidance, I had 6 older brothers and sisters that looked up for me and made sure I did not go astray. And I worked very hard in school, and I would tell you, as you guys probably have done, it's important to work hard in school. And I'll tie that into my career in 1 second. When I went to school, as Dr. Haskins, I was a good student. Probably I would consider that, kind of a student, and did very well. And one of the subjects I always did very well in was math. It just came easy to me. I don't know why. Just one of those God-given talents. If you put numbers in front of me, I could see. I saw the correlation. It came very easily to me. So I did very well in math. And as I went through school, when I got to actually started even in grade school. And when I got to middle school, they looked at me and they said, "Hey, you know what? You have a talent. We're going to put you in this program. And like, if you do well in the 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you'll skip the 9th grade." Now, I'll be honest with you, when you're in the 6th grade, you don't really think too much about that, right? Because I know I didn't. And I'm like, okay, whatever, right? I just went ahead and, I worked hard in school, and I worked hard in school because, 1, I had some pride, and I wanted to, and 2, and quite honestly, because my parents were very strict, and if I didn't, they would have taken it to me for sure. I can tell you that, no doubt about it. So I'm like, okay, so I worked hard. When I got to the 8th grade, they walked up to me and they said, "Hey, you know what? You've done quite well. You're going to skip the 9th grade." And I'll be honest with you, I completely forgotten about it, right? I'm like, what? They're like, you don't get to go to 9th grade. Well, think about it when you're that age. That was pretty cool, right? I'm like, no 9th grade? I'm like, yeah. I went right from the 8th to the 10th. But the real beauty of that wasn't so much going from the 8th to the 10th. The beauty was when I got to high school, because I was in the accelerated program, I was able to take all my courses a lot earlier, and by the time I got to the 12th grade, I had completed all of my math requirements. So I'm sitting with my guidance counselor, and the counselor goes, "Hey, what do you want to take?" And I'm like, "What do you mean what I want to take?" He goes, "You complete all your math requirements." I'm like, "So what are my choices?" He goes, "Well," you could take an elective, and one was accounting. And I'm like, "Well, accounting's math, I'll take accounting." So I took this accounting class in the 12th grade, did very well, and turned out, I loved accounting. I'm like, you know what, this comes easy to me. And at that point, I decided, you know what, I think I'll become an accountant. So it's funny how life takes these paths. As Dr. Haskins said, you know what, I got there really quite by accident, because I did well and math came easy to me. And because of this accelerated program, I then had the ability to really get introduced to accounting. And because of that, I did decide, you know what, I think I'll be an accountant. Went off to the University of Buffalo, got my bachelor's degree in accounting, and was recruited off campus to work for Arthur Andersen, which is a public accounting firm. Worked for them as a CPA, got my certification in public accounting, and then went on to grad school and got a master's in finance from St. John's University. But over the years, I've been able to do all these things, and it all started, really, to be honest with you, and as the speakers prior to my coming up here said, it's important to work hard. And I know sometimes, we lose sight of those things, but it's very, very important. Even at a young age, at an early age, it's not too early. Don't let people tell you, hey, don't worry about it. Why study hard now? you know, it won't make any difference now. It makes a difference. And I'll be honest with you, it started in grade school. It made a difference. It made a difference in grade school. It made a difference in middle school. It made a difference in high school. It makes a difference. Don't let anyone tell you other than that. As I said, I was very, very fortunate. Worked at Arthur Anderson, left Arthur Anderson, got my master's in finance, and started doing these these startup companies, taking them public, selling them, and we've done very well over the past 30 years until I sit here today. But as I think about some of the things Nicholas wants to touch on, as you go through school, for me, I went to math. I would tell you, you had two speakers in front of me that was in obviously doctors. And I would tell you, don't be shy. Nicholas, one of the things he asked me to talk about was programs that you should look at. I would say any program you should look at. But the one thing I would tell you, don't be afraid of math and sciences. A lot of students will shy away from math and sciences because they say it's hard, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with something being hard. You know, it's okay, because if it's hard and you succeed, then I tell you, you will feel wonderful. It's a wonderful accomplishment. Do not, and I stress again, math, sciences, English. A lot of minority students will shy away from those. I would tell you, do not shy away from them. One of the things it will do, if you focus on math, sciences, and English, it will open a whole door for you. I'm telling you, you will have everything at your doorstep. You can do whatever you want, and trust me, you can. And nothing is, you can achieve whatever you want. As I told you, I came from New York City, in Jamaica, Queens, and as my wife likes to say, it's the ghetto. And folks in there, they don't get here. But I will tell you, you can do it. You can do whatever you want to do. And it's a matter of, one, having mentors and having some guidance and having people willing to support you, and then you're working hard. And the one thing I will tell you is, I listened to the doctor, you know, don't be afraid to take on risk. I will tell you, while I've had some success in my life, you know, you can't get success without failure, and I'll tell you. And the reason you fail, because that means you're trying. And unless you try, you're not going to fail. So don't feel bad because you may fail, because you are going to fail. In life, there are going to be obstacles in life. They're going to come up. The issue isn't the obstacle, it's how you deal with the obstacle. And one of the things, as I've talked to people before, I've read books over the years, and the one thing I'll leave you with is, I read one book, and he talked about the 3 F's. And in life, always lean on your 3 F's. Your faith, your family, and your friends. And as I've gone through my career, I absolutely lean on my faith every turn, whether it was my career, whether it was my personal life, whether it was medical mishaps. You know, lean on your faith. Faith works, prayer works, absolutely. Family. I've been very, very fortunate. I told you I had two wonderful parents and 7 wonderful brothers and sisters, and a wonderful wife that supported me along the way. And I can tell you, I would not be sitting here today without their support. I can absolutely tell you that. So as you go through, remember, and I think Dr. Haskell said, you don't do anything alone. I didn't get here alone, right? I got here with a lot of help of a lot of wonderful people along the way. And I tell you, you can do it too. You can absolutely do it. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing to sit here today and see young people here who are really interested in a career. And when I was in high school, it seemed like, you know, everything was very important in high school, right? But the fact of the matter, if you think about it, right, the greatest impact you will probably make in your life will be after high school, right? The fact of the matter is, up to high school is just the foundation. And that's everything. We know we need a foundation for everything. So what you're doing right now is creating a foundation. But realize, your greatest impact in life, it's going to be after this, okay? Whether it's in your, and again, while we sit there talking about college, the reality is, you know, not everybody, Nicholas, I have a discussion, not everyone is college material. And that's not a bad thing, right? You know, and it's okay. And if everyone here is interested in college, that's wonderful. I'm a big believer in education in college, and I love it. But I'm also honest enough to know that, you know what, that doesn't work for everyone. And not everyone is college material, and that's okay. But college is wonderful. It's given me a wonderful groundwork, framework. The fact of the matter is, what it's done for me is allowed me to, really, it's more reasoning than anything else. Because people say, what has it done for you? Well, it's allowed me to reason. It allows me to take things and hopefully look at it in a concise and reasonable fashion and be able to use your thought process. And that's what it does. It really forms the brain. So for you guys, you know, trust me, you'll get a wonderful benefit from it. Now, I'll also tell you, as you prepare to college, understand there's a big difference between high school and college. There's 2 acronyms I use, the 3 F's, faith, family, friends. The other one I always use is PhD. It stands for, it's not just a PhD, but it's a PhD, but it stands for patience, hard work, and discipline as well. So as you go on in life, remember, patience. Be patient. Understand that nothing comes overnight. It takes time, right? And it's okay. Take your time. Be patient. You will get there. Hard work. We had 2 speakers ahead of us. They talked about there's no substitute for hard work. I will tell you that right now, okay? And along the lines of hard work, it's important. One of the things I've learned over the years is people say, don't lie to yourself, right? Don't, you know, because when you lie to yourself, the only person really, sometimes we lie and we think we're lying to the people around us, but what we're really doing is we're lying to ourselves. And what it really does, it prevents you from getting to the next level, from working hard. Because if you say it enough, you start to believe it. And if you start to believe it, then you won't work hard to get to the next level. So it's important that we be honest with ourselves. Be honest with yourselves, right? And that's important in life. And the last thing is the D, discipline. Have discipline. Don't, you know, it's funny, as I was listening to Dr. Haskins, she talked about security clearance. I have a top secret security clearance, and we've hired several people in my company that have security clearances. Now, some people can't get a security clearance because they've done things in their prior life that prevents them. And at the time, they didn't think anything of it. Well, you know, that's a lack of discipline, right? Be disciplined. It's okay. You know, it's sometimes, you know, doing the right thing can be very, very unorthodox, and that's okay. You know, as most of my life has been unorthodox, and I'll tell people when I went to school, people are like, why you work hard, why are you doing this, you're not going to go any place. I'm from Jamaica, Queens, I was from the ghetto, right? So guys like me, I'm supposed to be sitting here today, right? But, you know, I didn't pay any attention to that. One, initially, because my parents told me don't pay attention to that, and that was good enough for me. And as I got older and I got smart enough to realize, you know what, that's not important to me, you know, and that's when the discipline kicked in. And I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to try to do the right thing, and which is what my parents told me and what I know my God will want me to do. And I say that's important as you guys go on in life. And make sure I touched on all the points. Mentoring. I've had many mentors over my life, both black and white. You know, and again, as I went through schooling, I had a lot of teachers, you know, even in Jamaica, Queens, that, you know, told me, hey, you know, you're different, you're special, work hard, you can achieve something. And you know what? I was just young enough and naive enough, I believed them, right? As they told me, I'm like, you know what? I believe them. I think they know what they're talking about. So I didn't listen to anything else. I worked hard and I tried to achieve. And I've been very, very blessed and fortunate. God has opened many doors for me along the way, given me many opportunities, and the opportunities are there, right? And once the opportunity is there, you just try to take advantage of it. And it's very similar as I told people, I've started 3 different companies, and all we're trying to do is take advantage of the opportunity. You start the company, and hopefully the opportunity presents itself, and you'll take advantage of it. And it's the same thing in life, you know, between your hard work and your belief and your faith, God will give you opportunities, and it's up to you to take advantage of it. But it's important, as she said earlier, to work hard. Don't take any day for granted. I like to relate this to business. In the business world, we do startups. People ask me why we work so hard. And when you're doing a startup, you know, and my company's not as big as Booz Allen Hamilton, right? we're considerably smaller than Booz Allen Hamilton. So when our opportunity presents itself, we've got to be ready, right? And it's the same thing in life. When the opportunity presents itself, you want to be ready because you may not get another chance. So it's important to take each day for what it's worth, right? And understand that each day is important. And as you do something, remember, you're putting your name on that, right? Every time you do something, you're writing Mark Moore, right? It's your signature block, right? You're telling someone, that's who I am, and just keep that in mind as you do it. And I think if you take that approach, I think you'll work hard and you will apply yourself and you'll do well. And that's important whatever you do, anything you do, right? How you dress, how you look, right? You're telling people, this is me, and it's important, right? So just keep that in mind as you go through life. So, but thank you all for coming. We got a lot of speakers. I'm not going to take much time. Nicholas, thank you, sir. I am